Hello and welcome to the RTV studio on the campus of Martinsville High School for the regional edition of Inside Martinsville Wrestling. I'm your host, Nate Long, and I'll be joined alongside by head wrestling coach, Coach Aaron Johnson. How are you doing today, Coach?
Doing great. Just getting ready for regionals this week.
Going into sectionals, you had high expectations. A lot of wrestlers did come through. Talk a little bit about how the sectionals went as a team overall.
So we took second. I don't think that's been done in quite some time, especially in our sectional, sorry. We have Center Grove, which is a 6A powerhouse, and then got Decatur Central, Monrovia, Mooresville, and to finish second in there, we were a pretty clear second. I mean, the closest team to us was quite a few points away. So we weren't going to be able to catch Center Grove, but we sat in that second place pretty solid all day long. So we did well, and we had a lot of good place winners. We had 8 out of 14 go on to regionals, and 14 out of 14 placed in the top 6. So that was really good for the day.
So, let's talk a little bit about those 8 guys who ended up starting up the 106, Dalen Lane, placed 4th. Talk a little bit about how his day went.
So he started off on fire. He won his first match, and then he had a hammer in the semifinals. And he came back, won his next 2 matches, and then put himself in the 3rd and 4th place match. Top 4 go. He had a tough kid from Greenwood in the 3rd and 4th place match. Unfortunately, it didn't go his way, but I think he wrestled really, really hard. And as a freshman to make it through, that's saying a lot. So I think he did a great job this weekend.
Okay, now moving on to the 113 class, Brennan Leonard. 113 was the only one who got first. How did that go for him?
He wrestled solid. I mean, we knew going in that, as long as he wrestled solid all day long, he was going to have an opportunity to win. He wrestled Gavin Ash in the finals, and same thing. We figured he was going to wrestle solid, and he came out with a solid 5-1 win. So I think going into regionals, he set himself up for success moving on to semi-state.
And moving on, 138, Tate Frederick, also a freshman, placed 4th. How did his day go for him?
Honestly, Tate was unexpected. He was not one of the guys I had on my list to make it through. Being a freshman at 138 is really, really tough. And he lost his first match, and then he wrestled back and won 2 matches to get himself back to the 3rd and 4th place match. Fortunately, he had a hammer for the 3rd and 4th place match. Didn't get the seed he wanted going into regionals, but he still got through. And as a freshman at 138 pounds, especially, proving his coach wrong, because I didn't have him on the list. So he made it through. That was awesome for him.
And moving on, yeah. Evan Hamblin, the 157 got second. How did his day go for him?
He had a great day. I mean, kind of how we expected he was going to be with Silas Stitz in the finals. He wrestled him tough. We know this is going to be a long-term tournament, and we're probably going to see the same guy possibly more than once. He navigated through the first 2 matches easily, and then in the finals he just had a rough go at it. But I think we're catching ground on Silas, and I think here soon we're going to be able to beat him. So I think we're heading in the right direction.
Okay, next up, 175, Noah Sumner, placed 2nd. High expectations for him this season as well. How did his day go?
Same thing, kind of like Evan, he did his job. Solid first 2 matches. He just, took care of business. Got to the finals against another, hammer. He's a state qualifier last year. And Noah went at him, and it was a close match in the first period, and this kid just ended up being a little bit stronger than he was, and kind of put him out. But he really attacked. I mean, him and Evan were kind of in the same boat, where they were really attacking, and then just some experience. That was really it that beat us in the finals. But moving on, I think he's got a great chance of getting through regionals pretty easily. So.
And next up, 190, Ezra Frederick, placed 3rd. Talk a little bit about how his day went in sectionals.
Yeah, he was a 3rd seed. So, I mean, he basically finished his seed. We were kind of hoping to get a upset at the semifinal round against the Cascade kid. It was a close match all the way to the 3rd period, and then we got caught at the end. Then he came back through and won 2 matches pretty quickly, honestly. So he kind of finished his day on a high note, taking 3rd. He's got a tough match going in the regionals, but I'm pretty sure we're going to navigate through that pretty easily too, as long as he comes to wrestle. So.
Gotcha. And now moving up to kind of the bigger boys, wrestling 215, Dominick Mercer, placed 2nd. How did he do?
Again, he had a pretty solid day going into the finals. First 2 matches, he took care of business. And the finals, he had a tough kid. we didn't really know what to expect with the kid he was wrestling in the finals. I had never seen him wrestle. It was a close match. It ended up being I think a 3-1 final or 2-1 final, and it came down to kind of a stalling calls, and want to bash the referees today, but I think it was a lot. Could have gone either way. Let's just put it that way. But I think he's prepared for this weekend, and it's going to happen in this tournament. We just got to move on and get to the next round, and I think that's what he's doing this week, is getting ready to get to the next round. So he should be good. Okay,
and the last one up at 285, Grayson Sperling. Placed third. How did his sectional go for him?
Well, he finished his seed, but we were shocked that he got a third seed. To be honest with you, he's had an up and down season just because he's dealing with the 80-pound difference, and we didn't. Not that I didn't expect him to make it through, but I knew it was going to be tough for him. And honestly, took care of business. He won his first match, and then lost in the semifinals, and then came back and won his next two matches to give himself the third place seed, and which is a pretty good seed going into regionals. So taking third out of our sectionals was outstanding for him, and I think it gives him an opportunity to wrestle somebody that's his caliber first round at regionals. So I think we're doing great there. Yeah.
Thank you, Coach. We're doing something a little bit different. We'll be bringing on some of the wrestlers who are competing at regionals, and the first one up at 113 was the first seed, Brennan Leonard. Okay, we are joined here by Brennan Leonard. Placed first place, 113. Talk a little about how your sectionals went for you.
So I started off really well in my first couple matches, got some good warm-ups, got to my takedowns, and then got into that finals match, and it didn't go as well as I wanted it to, but I still got the win. And I'll just definitely have to wrestle better moving on in the state series. Just got to constantly be getting better and improving.
And what about heading into regionals? Some of your opponents, wrestled them before. Just talk a little bit about who you're going to be going against and that type of thing.
So there's a couple really tough guys coming in from the Avon sectional, and I think I've wrestled both of them in the past. I know they're going to be really tough. Just got to be ready to wrestle and do my best.
Okay, and anything else want to talk about? How's this week of practice going for you? Preparing for this moment.
We've been we started off really strong. We're tapering off now, just keeping our bodies ready to wrestle and being really prepared.
Okay, and thank you, Brendan, for coming on. Now we're going to see the next wrestler, and that's going to be Evan Hamblin at the 157. Okay, now we're going to be joined here by Evan Hamblin. You placed second at the 157. Talk a little bit about how your sectional went.
The first match was basically a warm-up, and the second match was like another warm-up. And then I just went into the finals, getting prepped. I warmed up well, and then I just ran into a banger. He was good. He was real good.
Talk a little bit about that guy.
He's from Center Grove. He's ranked top. I think he's 5th right now in the state, and he's just a solid wrestler. He's fundamental. He's good.
Going into regional, probably see that guy again. But talk about the other wrestlers you'll see into regionals.
There's a few that are coming in but I'm not too worried about them. I think I should have a good regional. There's a not a Bloomington, the Brownsburg team. He's coming in. He's good. But other than that, I think I should be fine.
So he's wrestled pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. And then you talk a little bit about how's your week of practice been?
It's been pretty good. I've been just getting my weight down, focusing on that, and just getting my mental game straight.
Now the next one we're going to see at the 175, Noah Sumner. Okay, now we're joined by Noah Sumner. Placed second in sectionals. Talk a little about all the matches you did in sectionals.
So my first 2 matches went well. Got my takedowns, kind of worked through, get a little warm-up going before the finals match. I knew it'd be tough. Went into the finals match feeling good, took a good shot. Didn't end up finishing it, and it kind of just went downhill from there. But hopefully this weekend I'll get another chance at him, and I think I'll do better this weekend.
Talking right into regionals, thinking of going right against him again. Talk a little bit about that.
So my first match is a kid I've already wrestled, so I should be able to use that kind of as a warm-up, get a feel of how I'm feeling that day, be able to wrestle well. Second match, I've not wrestled the kid, but he's done, he's beat some of the kids that I've wrestled this season, but he's lost some of the kids I've wrestled. So I think I'll be able to beat him and move on and have Center Grove kid in the finals again.
Now talk a little about that Center Grove kid. If you've got a lot of matches between the two of you.
So we've wrestled since we were little. Always struggled to beat him, but I really think this week of practice, especially the past 2 weeks, kind of game planning for him. I think this week will be different.
Talking a little bit, what did you do this week, to game plan for this guy?
Really just making sure my shots are on point. Not really worried about not worried about his attacks and stuff getting to my stuff. Not having to defend him and worry about that. Being able to attack him and get to my stuff.
Gotcha. Hey, thanks, Noah. Okay, now we're going to bring on the 215, Dominick Mercer. Okay, we are now joined by Dominick Mercer. Dominick, you placed second in the sectionals. Talk a little bit how your sectionals went for you.
Well, the first round, I just went into it, and I knew it would be a good warm-up for me, so I played with him, and I got a good warm-up in. And second match, I didn't know what to expect. I wrestled him and got through into the final match. I never seen this kid before, so I just went in there playing it smart and ended up making a few dumb decisions, and I'm losing the match, so got second.
Gotcha. So now heading into regionals, this Avon sectional, pretty good sectional. How do you feel going into regionals?
I'm feeling pretty confident. I got a kid I've beat before first round, so hopefully I beat that kid and go into the next round and continue through the tournament and do pretty well.
Maybe face that guy again. You've never wrestled before. How does that feel going into that again?
I'm feeling pretty confident. I've been working hard this week with one of the assistant coaches that's been coming in, and I feel pretty confident that I can beat him this time.
Okay, and then how has your week of practice gone?
I've been training real hard. We've got an assistant coach coming in to help me. He's a little heavier, so it's been really helping me in the room, and I think it's going to be a good year for me.
Okay, thank you, Dom. Thank you to all the wrestlers come out, talk about their regional matchups. And we're now going to bring on back head coach Aaron Johnson. Okay, Coach, we just talked to some of your wrestlers, about regionals, but what is you as the head coach, what's your feeling on the output of the entire regional as a whole?
Well, I think we've got opportunity to bring six through. We've taken 8. I think we have opportunity to bring 6 through. I don't want to predict everything, but honestly, if we go through the list, Brennan definitely set himself up at sectionals, and he should be able to get through there. He's win his first match, and then we'll get our seed from there. Tate's going to have a tough road. Dalen's going to have a tough road at it. Then you got 157 with Evan. I think Evan's going to have a shot to, obviously win his first match, but a shot to get a little bit further into the tournament on Saturday. And Noah, same thing. I think it's going to be him and the same kid that he wrestled at sectionals in the finals. And Ezra's got a tough first match at 190 against a kid from Pike. He lost to earlier in the season, but we've been game planning for him all week long, and I think we're ready for him. We win that first match, and we're going to settle a ticket into semi-state. Same thing with Dominick. Dominick's got a winnable first match. He's wrestled a kid before. Should be able to beat this kid again and then move on through and maybe end up in the finals again, possibly with the same kid that we wrestled last weekend. And then we got our heavyweight Grayson, and Grayson's going to have a tough match first round, but it's a doable first match for him. He wrestled a kid. He lost in the first period, but he was hanging with him the whole time. So we've been game planning for him this week too. So realistically, I'd say 6 out of 8 have a really good shot of getting through. And then we might shock the world and get 8 through and finish top 4 in the regional, which would be outstanding for our team. So.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you. Good luck to all the wrestlers who came out today. Talk about the regional. Regionals will be at 9 o'clock at Mooresville. So good luck to all of them. Hope to see you again for a semi-state show.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you next time inside Martinsville Wrestling.